We will get started in about 1 minute. Thanks everybody for joining so far. We'll give folks another minute to join and we will get rocking and rolling. All right, we'll get started. So thanks everybody for joining us today on this LinkedIn platform. I'm Brian Vieaux, President, Chief Operating Officer here at FinLocker. About a year ago, we did this event and kind of shared our version 2.0 of our FinLocker consumer experience on our mobile app. And since then, we've had several important updates to the product, and we're excited to show you today kind of the current state of the product. So I'm going to spend a few minutes in a couple slides just to kind of set the table and give you an idea of kind of how we present the product in the market. I've got a scroll going at the bottom. If anybody wants to take a test drive of the app, you can download FinLocker from the App Store, both Apple and Google, and then use registration code LinkedIn, all one word, if you're downloading from the app. At the end of this short slide presentation, I'll have a screen that you can use to use a QR code if you want to go to the web and check it out on the web as well. So with that, we'll get started. So just to kind of set the tone for the market, clearly we're in a very different mortgage and housing market than we were, certainly a year ago. But we're still seeing a large segment of home buyers make up this first-time home buyer segment. And then what some studies have shown is that by and large, most first-time home buyers really just don't understand the process. What we've worked on is building a tool that our clients can use to help educate and prepare their customers, your customers, for readiness. And then the other factor today is there are more consumers applying for mortgages that don't qualify, primarily due to the impact of higher interest rates on debt to income ratio. So there's this population of people who are not quite ready to buy a home and get financing. And I talked about this with the first-time home buyers especially. There's a lot of confusion around the process. People don't know how much they can afford, how much down payment is required, if their credit is in a good spot. And they really don't have a tool until FinLocker came along to know when they were ready, short of working directly with a loan officer. So our product is meant to kind of work alongside an originator, a lender, and a loan officer to help educate, prepare, and groom consumers for home buying readiness and the financing that goes along with that. So when a consumer downloads the app, we're kind of setting the table right away with them by kind of finding out where they are on their home buying and home ownership journey. They may be ready now, and those folks should probably go right into the lender's point of sale. Or they may buy soon, or they're not quite ready. They want to learn more about the process. And then for those that already own a home, the product is also valuable for them. We also capture and learn about the goals of the consumer through this process, whether it's improving their credit, saving for a down payment, improving their debt to income, et cetera. All these things are bits of information that we learn about the consumer as they're engaging with the app early on in their experience. For our go-to-market and kind of the value prop for the consumer, it's all about financial well-being, financial fitness, financial preparedness. Today, FinLocker is focused on an objective to create mortgage readiness, to get somebody to a place of mortgage readiness. But the product itself is not a mortgage tech product. We just happen to focus today on mortgage as an outcome. It's really a holistic consumer financial fitness experience. And for our client, for the lenders and the real estate community that we serve, it's all about engaging and converting relationships for our clients. So our clients are using our private labeled, white labeled, branded instance of FinLocker to engage consumers well up the funnel, but also after they've closed the transaction for an ongoing kind of customer for life engagement. In the context of consumers who are entering the home buying process, we believe there's at least 4 leading indicators that a consumer is starting that process. And typically these are things someone's doing out on the internet. Real estate search is an obvious one. People start searching for properties, searching for communities, neighborhoods, school districts, et cetera, using the various tools out on the internet. The consumer who's starting to kind of get serious about that may want to understand where they stand in terms of their own credit, their credit score, the credit report, et cetera. Starting to research pricing and product around the financing side is another activity that consumers will do out on various websites. And then finally, as someone gets closer to that place of readiness, they'll actually want to see what they're approvable for, if they'll get a pre-approval or understand their own cash flow. What we've built with our product is a platform that brings all these leading indicators together in a set of digital tools and provides the consumer a single place to go and do these things. So we have embedded real estate search. The consumer can see their credit score, credit report, and interact with it in the app. They can run pricing and product calculators in the app. And finally, they can determine where they stand in terms of mortgage readiness. And we're going to show you that here today. So our app is, like I said, a B2B2C or a white label, custom white label solution. So you will see FinLocker in the App Store. You also see a new version called KinLocker with a K. It's our friends and family product. But by and large, you're going to see a handful of other product names that our clients have chosen and we've published on their behalf. So it's the FinLocker product under that brand out in the App Store. And in the app, the consumer has access to a set of financial tools, which we're going to talk about, including monitoring and tracking their credit, linking their financial accounts, and engaging with the spending analysis, budgeting, and goal setting tools. We have embedded native real estate search in the app, education content that supports the home buying and home financing journey. As I mentioned, we give the consumer a picture on where they stand with respect to being mortgage ready. And finally, when someone kind of achieves readiness from the app itself, they can engage the lender and securely share information that's been curated in the app directly with the lender to start a mortgage application. This just gives you a quick view of some of the logos that are out here. I'll get rid of my face so you can see the whole screen. On the left are just some of the products that are out in the App Store. The Go Bag is one of our early apps that we published for a group of folks that serves veterans and specifically focuses on financial fitness and home buying readiness. So they branded the product the Go Bag. So our customers can, again, create a product name. We publish on their behalf, and then this just gives you a view of the mobile app dashboard based on a couple of the different white label solutions we have. So as I mentioned earlier, today consumers are going to different websites, different products, downloading these apps, going to these websites and engaging, and they're using these apps for various tools. So credit monitoring, personal finance, financial management. They're going to the Credit Karmas, the Sesames, the Mint.coms of the world. For property search, we know Zillow is a big one. Rocket Homes is another platform. There's others out there as well. And then when they get kind of deeper in that process and they want to understand kind of products and pricing, they may be going to the lending trees, the bank rates, or even Rocket Mortgage directly. What we've done is intentionally, purposefully connected all these solutions, these tools in one app. And again, it's a private labeled app. It's our lender's app, and create a one-to-one relationship where the consumer using this app can get access to all these tools in one place. And for the lender, it puts a moat around that consumer and hopefully keeps them from going to these other sites where typically when one of us is using one of these apps, we're either getting marketed to through the app, or we are the product. We're being presented as the product to a lender on the other side. So this is just another way to kind of insulate your prospects and protect your customers from these other financial apps that are in the marketplace. And how does it work? So when I'm talking to lenders today, typically we're talking about their top of the funnel sales activities and sales pipeline. And I came from the mortgage lending space where I spent almost 3 decades. So I understand the urgency and the need to move with speed with people that are ready today. And so for those customers that come into a lender's pipeline today and they're mortgage ready, they already know they're able to get approved. They're going to go right into the lender's point of sale, get into underwriting, and get to closing. But really, for the top of the funnel consumers who are not yet ready, whether they're just entering the process of considering buying a home as a first-time home buyer, or they came in to the process and they were turned down, or it was determined that they're just not there yet for various reasons, that's where the FinLocker tool acts as a great resource for lenders to groom and prepare and help those folks get to a place of readiness. But they're doing that inside of the lender's branded instance of FinLocker. So you're not sending them somewhere else to go get ready and then come back to you or hope they come back to you. You're actually giving them a set of digital tools to use today under your brand that are going to help them on that journey towards readiness. And then post-close, after closing, another use case for our app is using it as an ongoing customer for life engagement. So much of the feature functionality and tools that are useful for an up funnel consumer to use to get ready continue to add value after they've acquired the home and got the financing for that home. And we'll talk about that as well. Use cases, we've kind of talked a little bit about this. Up funnel, so that's your early journey, first-time home buyers. You're not quite ready, or your turn downs that are coming into the pipeline. The other use cases that we're seeing today with our clients for up funnel is building a bigger funnel altogether. So maybe using some of the features and benefits to the consumer and creating marketing strategies, whether it's through social media, through direct mail, through just ongoing engagement with your database for other things outside of mortgage that are more around kind of this holistic financial fitness experience. The next slide will hopefully give you a little bit of a flavor for how you might use some of the various tools that the consumer has access to as a way to build your funnel much earlier and engage consumers months or even years before they're ready to buy and get them into your funnel. And it's important to note that is really one of the primary drivers of Rocket Mortgage's acquisition of the Truebill platform a little over a year ago, was to not only acquire the customers of Truebill, but to have a tool that can be used for them to engage and market and bring people into their funnel well before they're even thinking about buying a home or getting a mortgage. And so what we've engineered is essentially a tool that allows lenders of all sizes to kind of compete in that early journey space for customer acquisition. I talked about ongoing customer for life engagement. We have a servicing use case where servicers are using the product, and some of our financial institution clients are using the experience to cross-sell other non-mortgage products to their customers. We're super excited about this current kind of version of the product, and the latest version, which we're going to be showing you here momentarily, is the first part of this has been in the market for about 6 months, and we've seen some really strong growth around metrics. One significant area is the growth in the number of loan officers that are engaging and using the product to engage their prospects and customers. That's up nearly 40% from just earlier this year. Our locker enrollments have doubled since the springtime on a month-to-month basis. And then our monthly active user metric, and this is super important when you think about engagement for an app like FinLocker. We're just under 20% MAU, so monthly active users. These are users who've logged in at least once in a month. So August was our last measurement for that. We'll be coming out with our September stats here shortly. But we had just under 20% of our users logged in at least once in the month of August. What's cool there is when they're logging in, they're not logging into FinLocker as a brand. They're logging into our client's product. They're seeing our client, the logo. They're even seeing a loan officer, which we'll show you in a moment, connected to that consumer. So it's just another way to stay connected and engaged with your customers. As part of our engagement strategy, the app is communicating directly with the customer, the consumer. And so, as you can imagine, as most apps, there's multiple ways for the app to communicate. This particular slide is measuring a specific set of communications that we used and pushed out in August that we enhanced around credit notifications. So this was really the aggregate of a set of emails that were pushed out to consumers regarding a change in their credit score. So the header in the message was, your credit score change. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm sure it was much better than that. But the point being that we had a 60% open rate on those emails, and then a 12% click-through rate, and then a 20% click to open, meaning they got the email, they clicked, and then actually went into the app. And that's the kind of stuff that we're focused on doing to continue to drive engagement back to the app on behalf of our clients. We're super excited about our engagement strategy. We've partnered with Total Expert to kind of power the journey for those engagements, and just completed our first round of integration with Total Expert to actually push information back into our mutual clients' instance of Total Expert to really drive even deeper engagement for that lender. So next thing I'll talk about is a little bit of our roadmap. So this is just a high-level view of kind of the things that are on our roadmap going into next year. We kind of look at it in two buckets. We have two constituents that we serve ultimately: consumers, or our clients' customers, and our clients, who are primarily lenders. And so for consumers, we continue to focus on a more seamless, less friction-filled, if you will, enrollment and engagement process, making it very easy for consumers to download the app and sign up. And today it is actually very simple. It's if they know how to download an app, which everybody does, signing up for the FinLocker product is as easy as first name, last name, email address, mobile number, a couple MFAs, and the consumer's app is set up. It is very seamless, very easy. And then our other thing that we're continue to be focused on is driving deeper engagement with the objective of helping create readiness for home ownership and the financing associated with that. So using the consumer's data in the app to drive deeper insights and analytics and provide better clarity and more certainty to that user as they're going through that process. And part of that strategy is to add an additional ability for the consumer in the locker to directly link to their payroll, to their employment information, and have kind of this ever connected set of data around employment and income, which would be on top of the data that we already have for credit and assets. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into this. For our clients, for lenders, there's a couple of areas that we're focused on. In particular, the first one, which is ongoing, is continuing to connect with the lender's tech stack, be it the CRM, point of sale, LOS, or custom tech based on the lender that they may have. Creating better connectivity between, creating workflows that drive consumers into the locker, but then also connecting with those platforms to push data into those platforms, whether it's activities, alerts, milestones, achievements that are happening in the consumer's locker, and pushing that to CRM as an example, all the way to pushing a set of data when a consumer is mortgage ready to pre-fill a mortgage application. The other area of focus is supporting the engagement for a lender and down to an individual loan officer, and creating kind of monthly digests for our lender and loan officers to understand what's happening across their population of lockers that they have in the marketplace. lot of cool stuff going on there. More to come on that. Well, I talked a little bit about connecting data. This is a view of the FinLocker admin portal. So this is the client side, not the consumer side. This is the client side of the admin portal. So imagine this is a single loan officer. Today, the loan officer can come into the admin portal, see all the lockers that have been created under their unique link or ID. And then with consumer consent, they can actually see information around the activity in that locker. Things like when was the locker created? Are there any financial accounts linked? If so, how many? Did the consumer link to their credit? Is a property attached? Do they link their property? Are they tracking the value? We also are providing the consumer credit score, current score and prior score in a 10-point band. So super cool information. We're going to be adding additional data elements to this over time, but this is our kind of first pass at exposing this data and making it available through a webhook API connection for lenders to attach, to bring into their CRM. Let me keep it on this screen for a minute and let folks click or scan over these QRs. The QR code on the left will take you to our website where you can set up a one-on-one demo or consultation. The QR code on the right will take you to our the URL for the web app to sign up for this test run of the locker. So while this is up, I'm going to get my app ready on my phone to take you guys through the product demo. And I'm running solo here in my home office, so my team is out on the comments area of LinkedIn, so hopefully they're fielding questions that folks have as they come in. All right, I'm going to switch over and show you now our product. So we are in a consumer's locker. I'm in my phone. This is me with my finger scrolling here. This is real. And what we're seeing is the consumer dashboard of a user returning to their locker. I'm going to come back to this top section here in a moment, but this is an example. When we introduce a new feature, it'll be placed front and center for the user to have access to when they first come back in. Otherwise, if I was the user and I wanted to rearrange the order of the app, I can easily drag and drop and move stuff around. I'm not going to do that right here. But each consumer can create their own custom view of the dashboard based on these widgets. So I'll go back to the dashboard and just kind of navigate through. So I talked, and I know I'm flying through this and talking fast, but I talked about the consumer linking information in the app. So essentially a user in the product is able to link today to their credit, their personal credit, get their credit score, credit report, all the information behind that. I'm going to show you that. They can link to their financial accounts, both assets and liabilities. I'll show you that. And then coming soon, we'll be able to have a consumer link directly to their payroll. So essentially, in the locker experience, a user would be verified on 5 dimensions: identity, credit, assets, income, and employment. Always on, always connected. And when that consumer has consented, they'll be sharing some of that information with their lender to support the journey towards home ownership. And then at the end of that readiness journey, all of that information becomes part of a data set that we enable to be shared from the consumer's locker directly with the lender. It's in a MISMO compliant data set that can be used to pre-fill a mortgage application. We do have a standalone product for verifications. I'm not going to cover that today, other than to tell you that we do today offer verifications of income, employment, and assets as a standalone product separate from this consumer locker experience. The one place that those are connected is if a consumer uses those verification tools in the context of a mortgage application with one of our clients, we auto create a locker on the back end of it, which essentially creates this lifetime engagement for you as the lender to engage that consumer on that data that they used in the transaction. Not the purpose of today's demo, but just to throw that out there. If anybody wants more information, we'll definitely help you out with that. So I'll keep kind of navigating the app. I come down to this tile this widget that has these tiles. These tiles each represent a linked financial account. So checking, savings, investment, 401k, IRA, credit cards, personal loans, charge cards, gas cards, mortgage loans, student loans, auto loans, even utility accounts. I have a utility here, electric and gas accounts. And so all of that data now that's from these linked accounts is available in the app. So when the consumer first links their account, we bring in 12 to 24 months of historical transactional data. And then every evening, the locker harvests all of the updated financial data from each of these accounts. So all the transactional data from these accounts is then brought into the app. That data then powers several other widgets in the app. This first one that you see here is the spending analysis widget, which breaks down all of the spending across all linked credit cards, checking accounts, et cetera, and categorizes, even subcategorizes those in this view. We also analyze cash flow, net worth, and then we have a budgets and goals widgets, which I'm going to come back to in a moment. I talked about the consumer linking to their credit. Once they do that, they're able to see their credit score. This credit score updates every 30 days, and then they can actually drill in and see all the detail behind the credit report. And I'll show you that as well in a moment. I'm just going to get through the first part of the dashboard here. This widget here that I'm in now that you see rotating on the screen is what we call the offers widget. This is where our client, typically a lender again, can create up to 10 unique messages or offers that would flow through here. This is a no-code piece of a no-code widget. So in our admin portal, our client can create up to 10 unique messages, including the image, the words on this tile, and the destination of the call to action. So if I were to click this view my accounts, which I'm not going to do right now, that's going to go back to the account section of the app. So if you have other partners that you work with, other products and services, this is where you can market to those users on those other products and services. We have a set of calculators, which I'm going to come back to. Home value. So for the user that owns a home, they're able to link that property. We bring in an AVM. It's brought in. It's updated every 30 days. The mortgage associated with the property, if there is one, can be linked as well. And in that case, which what you're seeing here, will show and display the estimated available equity. And what's cool about this is obviously the value is coming from this AVM, but the outstanding balance on the mortgage, which is driving the estimated equity, is not a stale value, and it's not a calculated value. It's actually coming directly from the linked mortgage in the locker. So if a payment was made on that mortgage yesterday, the balance and the available equity is now reflected today in almost real time for that consumer. We have embedded real estate search, which I'll show you in a moment. And then I want to get to a couple of the last pieces on the dashboard. So not only is the app branded to the lender or the enterprise, if you will, but also individual loan officers or others in the organization can have kind of a unique experience. So in this case, Ryan would be the loan officer associated with the consumer who has this app. And so when that consumer is engaged with the app, they're always connected to Ryan, and they can connect him. They could click this contact Ryan, which would open up their email client on their phone, and they could send Ryan an email. And if they wanted to schedule a meeting with Ryan, they'd click this schedule a meeting. Behind this schedule meeting is Ryan's Calendly, and they could quickly set a meeting with Ryan to do their annual mortgage or post-closing review. And that's a new feature that we deployed about 30 days ago, getting a lot of great feedback on that from our lender clients and the users alike. Finally, on the dashboard, at the very bottom is what we call the information center. You could call this the blog site, but we're able, when we deploy a client, an enterprise client that has their own kind of RSS feed or blog site, we can connect to that content, and that content is available now to all of their consumers inside the app. All right, so I'm going to now navigate to some of the deeper feature functionality, and I'll start with credit. So I'm going to go into the credit widget. Again, when we come in here, we're going to see the credit score. We're going to see some nice little affirmations of being a rising star. All the factors that make up the credit score are broken out here, pay history, utilization, et cetera. The trend on credit score, there's a quick link to education content around credit as well. I can go into the credit report and see all of the accounts that make up the credit report, drill into any one of these accounts, see the utilization, the balance, the credit limit, when it was opened, all the pay history, et cetera. And then a super cool feature that is also part of the new version of FinLocker is our credit simulator in mobile. And so from here, the user can take certain actions on their account, their credit account, and see what that would do to their credit score. So in this case, let's just see what would happen to this user if they were to pay down their credit card balances by $30,000. Click simulate score. It's going to come back and say that paying down the outstanding balances by 30,000 results in an increase of 87 points in this consumer score. We have another version of our credit engagement tool. It's called Credit Compass. Today it's in web only. It's a beta. That is the inverse of this utility. In Credit Compass, the user who's sitting at a 655 would plug in and say, what would it take for me to be a 742 score? And they'd hit simulate, and the product, the app, the web app would come back with a set of things that the user could do over the next 6, 12, 18 months to get from a 655 to a 742 as an example. So it's in beta right now on our web, and it's on our roadmap probably for some time early next year to bring it into the mobile experience. Ton of engagement on credit. I would tell you that from a marketing and pipeline building perspective for our clients, we get a lot of feedback that using calls to action and marketing messaging around credit score, credit monitoring, credit alerts is another unique way for lenders to engage consumers and get them into their funnel outside of the traditional specific mortgage type of marketing. So as I go through this, hopefully you're thinking about some of the different marketing strategies that your company or you as an individual could deploy using much of this feature functionality to kind of build and enhance your pipeline of prospective clients. Because again, I'll say there's others that are doing this very well out in the marketplace, namely the Truebill app that's now Rocket Money. I mean, that's the biggest lender in our industry, and it's a strategy for them to attract and retain clients. Why wouldn't you try to do the same thing? Let's go into the accounts widget. And again, we'll see these tiles that represent the linked accounts. And then underneath the tiles are all the transactional data for those accounts. Adding an account is super easy, super intuitive. You would pick the account that you're going to add. It's going to open up a sign-in window. I would log in with my credentials, hit next. In most cases, the financial institution would send a text to the user with a 5, 6, 7-digit MFA code. A modal window would pop up here, enter that code, and that account would now be linked in the locker, and you'd see it as a tile on here. So it's super easy to add accounts. Users can delete accounts, hide accounts, etc. From those accounts being linked, there's several other tools that are powered by that data. So budgets and goals, consumers can come in and create very specific spending budgets. Also set goals for things like saving for a new home or an emergency fund. I've got a few of those set up in here. We've also created a detailed budget that's automated. Once the user has set up their profile and completed their income, this detailed budget, which is running all the analysis right now, opens up and tells the consumer kind of where they are and their suggested spending in these major categories: home expenses, transportation, food and dining, etc. And then they can drill into any of these details and see all the line items. What's cool here is the budget itself is automated using the HUD-approved housing counseling budget format, but the user can override any one or more of these line items. And as expenses come in under these categories, they're tracked in real time. So I've covered a ton of ground. I want to pivot to readiness quickly. So knowing what you know now in terms of all the capabilities around the consumer's ability to link information in the app, once we have the consumer has completed their profile, linked their credit, and linked at least one asset account, they're able to access this readiness widget. And my app, the app that I'm using to mirror this on the screen, is a little slow, so give me a minute. Here we go. So once they've completed profile, credit, and asset, this readiness widget is rendered and available. And from here, the app is analyzing all the data in the consumer's locker against multiple dimensions. So credit, no bankruptcies, no foreclosures, no lates. Credit score is at least 640. I think it was the benchmark we put in this demo account. There's there's assets in the account that exceed the down payment required. This user's been employed for at least 2 years. And then you can see that some of the other factors that make up readiness in here. When a consumer reaches readiness, then they're kind of in the queue to be able to start the formal mortgage application process. FinLocker is not a point of sale. We're not a loan origination system. What we do, though, is allow the consumer to take their curated data, their direct source consumer permission data, and share that data with a lender to start a mortgage application. So in this case, I'm just going to show you quickly kind of what the consumer would do to share this information. So this is the lender is already defaulted here. They're going to go for a home loan. Clicking through. This would have already populated if this wasn't my demo account. Same with my Soch. The income's coming from our profile. They could add a co-bar if they want. We're not going to do that here. And so from here, the user is going to see kind of the information needed to start the mortgage application. So we have a checklist that kind of has your standard mortgage application checklist. This is where the user links their financial account. So I'm going to link this bank account here, because that's where my assets are coming from. I can also link to my liability accounts. If I've stored documents along the way, like a tax return or a pay stub, I can link to those. And then from here, the user is going to consent to share this with their lender for purposes of a mortgage application. So they would consent and go ahead and make that share. On the other end of the share, what's happening is the lender, and specifically the loan officer in this case, is going to get an alert from FinLocker. So in this case, Ryan would get an alert from FinLocker that one of his clients has initiated a data share from the locker to start a mortgage application. Ryan would be prompted to come into the FinLocker admin portal, accept that share, and then can download that Fannie 3.4 MISMO compliant data set, as well as any of the documents that have been stored, including the asset report. So we take that linked bank account, create an agency eligible asset report. FinLocker is a Fannie Mae approved vendor for asset verification, so day one certainty. And that is all part of the payload that's shared with the lender at that point for a mortgage application. Quickly, I'm going to show you a couple other features. I talked about calculators. There's a set of embedded calculators. We have this home affordability calculator that is driving off of the data in the consumer's locker, and basically gets them to kind of lets them know what they're what they're qualified or what they can afford based on their income and the down payment they're going for. They can change the terms of the mortgage, and then once they get to this last screen, in this case, I think it's estimating the amount needed for closing costs and down payment of just over $50,000. From here, the user can create a goal, call it new home. So it's $50,000. Pick a date when they want to be ready. So let's just say next October. Pick the account that they're using to save for that money, and then how much of that account are they going to allocate towards this goal. And now a new goal has been created to save for this new home. And in real time, the user will be alerted where they are on that journey towards that goal. And a couple other calculators that are also available. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. We have a early payoff calculator, a debt consolidation calculator, and a home equity calculator. I'm not going to show those for the sake of time here. I want to go and show you briefly the education content. Deep library of education videos covering the entire home buying and financing process. Links out to other resources for home buying, home equity, auto loans, insurance. We also have the ability with our enterprise clients to connect to content that our client is creating and producing, and that could be presented to the users of that enterprise client in their version of the locker. Let's see here. Let me go back to our property. So for the user that owns a home, as I said earlier, they can track the value of that property against an AVM. It updates once per month. The mortgage that the consumer has can be linked in the app, and then that's what's generating the estimated equity. Recently sold properties. These widgets that I'm showing you here, this home maintenance specifically, we also have the ability to customize some widgets through a statement of work, kind of an addendum to our contract. But some of our clients have asked us to build out a place in the experience for other products and services that they have their clients have access to. So in this case, our client that this locker belongs to has a relationship with HomeBinder. So we created a piece of real estate or a widget in the app for the user that already has a HomeBinder account to either log in and see their account or create a new account. And then I talked about real estate search. So the user from the locker, the consumer can engage with real estate search. I'm going to pick Novi, which is where I'm at, and see properties that are available in my market. Can favorite those properties. You can drill in, see all the detail, obviously, on those properties. You'll notice the loan officer, or actually the agent, is Ethan Vieaux, familiar name. Our property search and valuation is powered by an integration we have with Home Scout. And so our clients who are also Home Scout clients, we're able to offer a co-branded search experience for the loan officer and their agents. So super excited about that. Again, the value of consumers having embedded search in this app keeps them kind of off the other platforms, other apps where, as we know, they're oftentimes marketed to, sold as a lead, et cetera. I think I've covered everything and more that I planned on covering. Let me take a peek over at the comments and see if there's anything that I need to cover. I don't see any urgent messages coming in from my team. Hopefully this has been helpful for everybody. I'm going to flash back up this screen just so you can kind of see again. If you want to download the app yourself and play with it, link to your property, link to your credit, and kind of see all the tools as a consumer would see them, you can scan the QR code here on the right, and that will take you right to the web where you could set up your account. And then once your account's set up, then you could download the FinLocker app and sign in with those credentials that you create. Otherwise, if you just download FinLocker, one word, from either the App Store, the Apple App Store, or Google Play, and use the registration code LinkedIn, you can set up your own account directly from the App Store. For those that are interested in a kind of a deeper dive, including kind of what does implementation look like, contracting and pricing and all that great stuff, you can scan the QR code here on the left, and that'll take you to our website where you can complete a short form, and then we get you on our calendar for kind of an individual demo. With that, I am going to wrap it up. I appreciate everybody joining us today. I believe this will also be available once we're wrapped up. We'll push it back out to this LinkedIn group. And if anybody wants a copy of the demo or the presentation, just reach out to me directly, brian.vieaux@finlocker.com, and we'll send you the deck. But I appreciate everybody today, and we look forward to seeing you on our next update, probably towards the end of the year. Thank you.